On the Division 2 GameFace Footy Show, live from the Langwarrin Football Club, Somerville looking for a new coach. Red Hills go hard early, but the Tigers come home harder. GameFace announces new partnership with RPP, and Langwarrin, the Kangaroos, are still in the hunt for the finals. They've got some special announcements and what's going to be a big show for Division 2. Let's welcome our team. My name is Dan Lonigan, but Tony Blackford and Chris Holcomb are with us. Welcome, boys. Great to be down here at Langwarrin Town.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's good to catch up with my old mates Josh Beard and Blake McCormack. They've done a wonderful job, and hopefully over the next couple of weeks they can have a couple of wins and sneak into fifth spot.
Geez, they've come good late, haven't they? We'll be worried about them early. We'll go probably into that later, and you'll hook into me. I've got to check the tyres on the car before I get out of here, but they've done a great job, and next 2 weeks going to plan, they should play finals.
Yes, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, did you not say they have been the most disappointing side in the competition? Mr. Holcomb, you said that, did you not?
At 10 games and at 10 games and 3 wins, and I was looking at their side. I actually had a look today, and if I've got a side of McCormick, Peach, Werner, Brown, Murphy, Albanese, Norton, Parker, Tuddenham and Patterson, and I'm sitting at 3 wins from 10 games, I'm not that happy. I don't know, would you be?
Yeah, but a lot of those guys weren't playing the first half of the year, and injuries take a big toll on any side, Chris, as you know. But look, they're up and about, and you need to be playing good football at the right time of the year, Dan, don't you?
It's been great for them to come back. They've shown a lot of character to come back, but all I was saying at that time was with that squad, I would have expected them to be a lot higher. I would have put them right with Coringal and Chelsea with what they were doing, and look, they might finish in front of them by the end of it, but at that stage, it wasn't looking good.
Well, there's still 2 points out, 2 games to go, but there's still a massive chance. So we'll talk more about Langwarrin very shortly. But one of the big stories on the agenda for second division is that Somerville's looking for a new coach. It's been a bit of a dramatic week there. They wanted Nick Jewell. They haven't got Nick Jewell. He's going to Rosebud. Andreas Everett was not told, but when he got wind of it, he and some of the players have become insubordinate. I would have thought that's a little bit unprofessional. Chris?
Yeah, it didn't look the best from the outside. You never know what the inside story is, but I was of the opinion that Somerville weren't happy with the way things were going as it was, like from mid-season. So they're a club that needs results straight away, or else the committee barks and something has to be done.
And you talk about, we talked about it in the First Division show, Mount Eliza have got great kids. Somerville have had great kids for a long time, and they've been the most dominant under-18 side for probably 10, 12 years, Dan. They just haven't been able to go on and have senior success.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, yes, there would be. I mean, I think it comes down to who they apply the jobs to, application and attitude.
Yeah, I reckon past results to have killed them. I reckon 2 years ago they thought they were ready to win the flag. They loaded up, they had blokes like Simpson and that go through.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money. He's always been there, but they had some really good players, and their expectation was top, and I reckon it's taken them a few years to recover from that loss.
So who do you think will coach? Who do they need? And are either of you two gentlemen interested in the Somerville job?
I think I said to you last week that Sean Graff is in charge of the coaching panel. I think that they'll look. I think Nick Jewell was right in the mix. I don't know where they'll go to from here. Andreas was obviously a playing coach. Bevan Malloy the year before was a non-playing coach. So I'm not too sure, Chris.
I don't think it's a bad gig, and I don't think they're going to have their. I don't think they're going to have a drought on people applying for the job, because it is a good job. I just think that now the way the footy's played, I don't think you can put all your eggs in one basket with a playing coach. I think it's gone beyond that. So I've got a feeling that they'll be looking for, if a playing coach, they've got to have backup. They've got to have someone who's on the bench who's calling the shots. So I would say an experienced coach or playing with some backup.
Well, they seem to fall apart, didn't they, in regard to their performances on the field when Andreas got injured. That didn't help them at all, did it?
You talk about playing coaches and having somebody good. Would they be better off to keep Everett there and try and get somebody there to help and support him once he gets back on the track.
They would if they weren't stabbing him behind his back trying to get Nick Jewell, but that horse has bolted, so there's no way that he's going to stick around. Bev Malloy I really rate Bev in terms of a tactician of the game. He would have been great off field. His family commitments, I think, was a little bit too hard for him to pull. But that horse has bolted, so I think they'll go an off-field coach.
Well, there's rumour about Brendan Favola playing for them in 2019 because his brother's down there. Do they need Fev?
Oh, I don't know if they need Fev. I think that's more of a party trick that Pearsdale and that pull once in a while and try and raise some money as opposed to a sustainable thing.
And Fev's nearly 40 too, isn't he?
He's got media commitments too. Like he does a footy show on Thursday nights. Is he going to be down there at training on Thursday night?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think that's a viable decision.
Now, looking at what happened on the field, Red Hill go hard early, but the Tigers came home harder. We were at Dramana last week, and I know that they were a little bit nervous. They felt their form, to use my term, Chris, had been a bit patchy. They agreed with me, even though you weren't there last week. And Red Hill were outstanding in the first quarter, 5 to 5 points in that first term, and then 11 goals to 4 in the last half by Dramana. I mean, they're an excellent side. They're doing absolutely everything right. So I'm happy to eat my words and say they are the red-hot premiership favourites. Sorry, Langwarrin are coming. But Dramana are there at the moment, aren't they?
I know we're in the middle of Langwarrin home turf and you two guys sit on the fence like no one's business, but did we see a grand final replay last week?
Well, I said last week, Holtz, that I thought that they would play each other, including last week, another 3 times.
Yeah.
Last week and 2 more times. I think that those two have been the best sides all year. I think Langwarrin will come, but I don't think that they'll be good enough to play in a grand final against Red Hill and Dramana.
What about you, Dan?
Oh, I think Dramana will be there now. There's no doubt about that. They've lost 1 game for the year. Yes, okay, I'm sitting on the fence and I'm now taking the splinters out of my backside, Chris. They'll be there.
Under a kick, too.
Oh, that's right.
And to be challenged like they were 5 goals down at quarter time, Dan, and they kicked 14 to 5 goals after quarter time.
And 11 goals to 4 in the second half. So they were outstanding, and Red Hill have been superb for 8 weeks. I mean, had not lost a game for 8 weeks and were belting everyone. So I'm happy to say that I got it wrong. Not the first time I've got things wrong. Red Hill slipped to 3rd. How bad a loss was that, or was it a loss that you needed to have at this time of the year?
Oh, that's not going to hurt them at all. They'll bounce back today against Hastings, and then they settle up against Devon Meadows for the last game of the year. I think that they'll finish with the last 2. They'll finish with a double chance. They'll probably play Coringal in the qualifying final.
They were never going to finish on top, so they're never going to have that week's break. But the way the draw looks, they'll finish 3rd or 2nd and have that qualifying final. The big one is this week, and we'll have a look at it a bit later on. I think Chelsea-Coringal this week. If Chelsea do get over Coringal this week, then Chelsea will go and play Red Hill in that first final. They lose, and it looks like Coringal and Red Hill in that first final.
Well, we'll talk about Chelsea in a minute. I mean, they allowed Pearsdale to draw with them a very poor last quarter, so that was one that might have got away for Chelsea in regard to top 3, but as you say, a big match against Coringal should be a real highlight of round 17 of Division 2. Now, Dramana's reserves coach, I believe, was at the club last week. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Adrian Timmins yet, but he was moved on, so a bit of a dramatic week, despite the fact that the club did fantastically in winning, but he was moved on immediately.
Yeah, was it Thursday night or was it Saturday night?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure when it happened, but they had a wonderful win against Red Hill. I think that they won by 30-odd points in the 2s.
Yeah, I just don't know what happened there, but anyway, it didn't seem to affect the club too much, or hasn't affected them too much, but they're going brilliantly at the moment, Dramana. Back with more shortly. We'll take a break, and plenty more for the Langwarrin Football Club in a second with Tony Collins, their football director and coach Josh Beard. They're ready to make some big announcements, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Langwarrin Footy Club. Division 2 goal kicking table. There are some outstanding performances in the seniors. Jesse Murphy of Langwarrin, another bagful, 5. He's on 60. He's been in front all year. A 3-goal break to Curtis Bywater of Chelsea, despite their draw over Pearsdale. He kicked 4. He's on 57. Another 5-goal haul to Michael Theodoriadis of Devon Meadows. Had an outstanding year. He's on 55. Then an 11-goal break to Luke Hewitt of Hastings. Didn't kick any on the weekend. He's on 44. Ben Holmes, a veteran from Dramana, had a wonderful career with Vermont. He's been a great pick-up for the Tigers this year. They've lost just 1 game, and he kicked 3. He's on 41. Jake Anderson of Tyab also on 41 after 3 on the weekend. And Holmes' Dramana teammate Ethan Johnston has been pretty consistent all year. 2 goals in the win over Red Hill. He's on 40. In the reserve, Scott Sterling of Rye, a big day. 7 goals on 43, 12 ahead of everyone else. Richard Mathers of Coringal, none on the weekend, remains on 31. Luke Clark of Chelsea, 3 goals to go to 28. Then James Giostis of Red Hill, none on the weekend, he's on 22. Craig Hunter of Devon Meadows, 1 behind him after 2 on the weekend, to go to 21. And Ryan Cranwell from Chelsea kicks 6 to move to 20. The Under-19 Goal Kicking Award, Logan Sanford, 6 goals. From Red Hill, he's on 54 as they continue to dominate the competition. They're undefeated. Dylan Allen of Rise, 16 goals behind him. So with 2 rounds remaining, you think Sanford's got the Goal Kicking Award and the Under-19s parcelled up. Dylan Allen, as I say, from Rise, second, 3 goals to move to 38. Nathan Allen of Langwarrin, 2 goals to go to 36. His Langwarrin teammate Shannon Reid, 1 to move to 33. And also on 33, Anthony Beale of Coringal after 2 goals on the weekend. And Ryan McNamara of Coringal after 3 goals on the weekend. And it worked really well last week. There was live streaming of a game last week. It was a ripping game too between Pines and Sorrento, and there'll be live streaming of a game of the round every single week for the rest of the season. And being involved,
and this week it's Edith Farl and the Bombers, isn't it, Dan?
Huge game. Being involved with both entities, Tone, you must be really pleased and proud about that.
I think it's wonderful that you can go onto your app and listen to the voice of Lockie Kelly and Michael Voss and Adam Kelly, and then be able to watch it.
I was actually in the Cairns airport, and I knew that was going on. Bang in, stream, headphones on. It was fantastic. Watch that last quarter.
Yeah. I listened to the end of it. I thought it was absolutely outstanding from Lockie. Now, the feedback we're getting from clubs is overwhelming. They're really delighted about that. And as I say, we're on board with RPP, a great relationship developing there for the rest of the season. Let's have a look now at some of the RPP action from the weekend.
Beat those good sizes with that severe pressure. So Plain on the end of it, plays on, runs to the wing position, just whacks it in forward. Ludovic comes out to meet it, spills down to McDermott with a left foot, ping of the goal, kicks it. Pines put on quick 2 quick ones. They're going to walk in. He sends a ball sail from 52.
It's big.
He's got the distance. He's got the accuracy. No.
Yeah,
Umpire likes it.
Yes.
He put it straight to the hey-diddle-diddle. And Sorrento get within 2 points. They got a 14, 12, 96 to 15, 8, 98.
Wowee.
Boy, oh boy, the Sorrento Sharks are just never out of it. On hands, there's a lot of spent bodies. Ball back into play. Mitch Hallahan tries to bustle his way through a couple, but there's the last quarter siren. And Pines are victors by 3 points. We played 31 minutes in that last turn. Boy, oh boy, they've done well to hold on. There's no doubt about that.
Frankston RSL, Frankston's function and restaurant specialist.
Langwarrin Footy Club, the Division 2 GameFace Footy Show, and it's a great pleasure to welcome the 2 coaches, Josh Beard and Blake McCormack. 2 games to go. We'll talk to them in just a second, but before that, the Football Operations Director, Tony Collins, has got some special announcements, which is huge for the Footy Club as they're 2 points outside the top 5 in the seniors in their aim to play in the finals. They're also very close in the reserves and under-19, so a couple of big weeks to come. But Tony, you've got some very important announcements to make on the eve of the finals. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to GameFace for giving us the opportunity to come down here and supporting local football. And how exciting is it to be at Langwarrin? And our 9 sides, we have 7 sides that are live to play finals through our netball and football operations. So it's a really exciting time for our club. And this is almost 12 months ago, we sat back and had a good look at our football club and where we wanted to stand for, where we were going within the community. So we had a really strong football review from our 19s, our development from 17s and 16s, all the way through to our senior coaches. And I'm extremely proud here to announce tonight that the two players we had come on board this year, Josh and Blake. Blake is our coach and also player, and Josh is his assistant co-coaching. The job they've done has been enormous for our football club. It really has, and I know Black has loved those guys. And they've been enormous, and you really cannot say how much they've done off the field to just reinvigorate our football club and our culture that we have here. We're in a tremendous area. a great little community here, little village we call it, and it's an exciting place. Little village, it is, it's only small, don't worry, it's only a little small place, little dot on the map, and we're excited, I can assure you that. So, right through tonight, I'm really excited to announce that we have reappointed Josh and Blake for 2 years, 2020. So, well done, boys. And to add further to that as well, our 19 coaches, Gad Hiku and Travis Lee, we've also reappointed those two gentlemen for our 19 program for next year as well. So congratulate Travis and Gad. And more importantly, our development squad, once again we've got Ash Moore and Brett Mills, incredible legends of our football club, life members, and to have those guys imparting their knowledge through our junior programs has been enormous, and then Ash helps out obviously on game day with the boys, so those guys have been appointed as well. So welcome to our existing coaching group for 2020 on beyond for the Langwarrin Football Club, so it's exciting times. One more announcement I'm going to make, and this is a really big one for our club, a new player to our football club this year. Once again, brought in, his knowledge of the game, his experience, his professionalism has just been second to none. The boys love him, and Jesse Murphy, who's leading our goal kicking for the league and also for us as a club, of course. We welcome Jesse's re-sign for next year as well. So,
Thanks, Tony. I take it wasn't a very hard decision to make all these reappointments and these announcements tonight. What's it mean to the football club to be nice and settled and stable?
Oh, that's really critical, Dan. I mean, it's not a hard thing, but it's really important to sit back and review and don't take things for granted, and go back and talk to these guys and just understand the culture and what we want to bring to our football development and through the junior club as well. And it's not hard. It's not a hard decision. It's a really interesting conversation to have, because it's easy just to say you've been reappointed, but you've got to make sure you review it, you talk about things, and make sure they're on the same page as us moving forward as a club.
Hey Tony, a wonderful decision for the club. When I drove in here tonight, I noticed that there was a senior car spot for the senior coach, so I took that spot. And it means that if you've appointed these two boys for 2 years, it means you might have to get another senior coach's car spot.
Yeah, it's actually Jesse Murphy's car spot. So when Jesse signed, he actually parked in there when we first met 12 months ago, having a chat. And I sent Blake a picture and said, we've signed him, but he's taking your car spot, Blake. So bit of bad luck. But yeah, the boys have been terrific for our club. Josh is involved in our junior club as well. So he brings a lot of knowledge across from our junior side coming through. But Blake's energy is absolutely amazing. I've had coffees with him at 6 in the morning and at 9 at night. He's still buzzing around. His energy, his enthusiasm, his vision for the club and his want to improve is just exciting. I think that's the important thing we've got to think about here. They're just not taking this job and saying, oh, we just got a job. We want to improve. We want to keep improving as coaches as well and improve people around them, and they're doing that.
Yeah, spot on. And I've been lucky enough to have both Blake and Josh by my side. Josh for probably 6 years, including a stint down at Sereno, and then Blake for 4 years as my defensive coach. Both outstanding blokes. I was very lucky to have them for so long. It was terrific.
Well, Josh, you must be delighted. Obviously, it wasn't a particularly hard decision to re-sign you. 5 or 6 weeks ago, things weren't looking great, but you've really picked it up over the last month. What do you put the improvement down to?
Oh, mate, you're right. Like 5 or 6 weeks ago, that was the case. But other than 2 games this season, we've been competitive and in a position to win every week. So, to look at it from one side of the coin, you're disappointed where you're at. But if a little bit of luck goes your way, and with our players we probably had unavailable at different periods of time, you have them up. And I know everyone goes through that, but we could easily be that Chelsea or Kringle who's in a position to play for that top 3. But we let ourselves down. We let games slip that we could have and should have won, and now we're in a position where we keep winning. We can play finals footy. So our aim to play finals, while it's been possible, has been we haven't wavered from that. So we're excited that our season's alive and every game we play means something.
Well, it is out of your control a little bit, particularly if Hastings win their last 2. But if they don't and you guys win, you're in. So it would be a wonderful comeback. Is there a specific area where you've improved over the last 6 weeks or so, do you think?
Work rate. We base our game around effort. So like any side in the peninsula or competition around that, anyone that drops their effort in a really even competition, you get beaten. And we found that out. And we've had a couple of meetings with the boys where we've sat down and
And attitude is another one, Josh, isn't it?
It is,
like
and
buying into what you and Blake believe and strive for.
It has been, and I can't question the attitude of the boys. There's some things that haven't gone our way and some things that we would have liked players to do differently. But with the group we've got together and the direction we're heading now, we're really excited about the future.
And Blake, getting an opportunity to be co-coach. I know you've had a few injuries with your concussion. Good to see you back playing. I mean, what's the challenge been like for you to be a playing coach and to have Josh as a non-playing coach? Obviously, the dynamics are working pretty well now.
Yeah, correct. Black has hit on it before. The fact that I was able to do an apprenticeship under him for 4 years was amazing. Like, and someone mentioned it before about club culture, and he set such a high standard with that down at Red Hill. And having Josh by my side has given me a massive amount of confidence to deliver messages not only off field but on field too. So, Josh and I have got a really good relationship. We speak sort of 5-6 times a week outside of football, and if we've got any challenging questions towards one another, we just back each other up and we can make those decisions a lot easier.
How hard would that job be without having that back up on the bench? Like if you were out there playing week in, week out, and the coach who hasn't coached a lot outright, how hard would that be?
Look, to be honest, I don't think I could do it. When I took the job on back in October, I had no ambitions to play at the time, and I think Blackers might have stitched me up a little bit and said, no, he's got 1 or 2 more years left in him. So TC was pretty quick to jump on it and say, no, we want you to play as well. And I just said, I can't do both, but I may have plan B up my sleeve. And that's when I rang Joshy, and then, we've been 100% on board ever since.
With the divisional football structure too, like I've obviously been involved in that first division side and seen you guys struggle for a couple of years as a club. And I always thought your list was good. Like we went through the top 10 players before who have got a lot of talent there, and your junior program is amazing. But you're one club who's sort of fast-tracked back on the right track with that divisional structure.
Yep.
And you're right, like those games are so close week in, week out. Your 2 bad losses are probably Pearcedale and Ryan. It was probably a mental thing that didn't get up for that day.
Yep.
But that can cost you in this comp now. But the divisional thing working for you guys, yeah?
Oh, 100%. Like you talk to everyone throughout the peninsula, like the teams are playing in the top division now. They're really excited. It's a close competition up there, and for us, like we feel like we're going in, week out, and we can win every game. So I sort of played in the same division last year, but you'd sort of roll up against the Serenos and Rosebuds, who are a clear standout, and it's fair to say that sometimes you felt like you didn't have hope, but we've got a good young group, and they're really positive, and we feel like we can win every game, and it's a positive vibe down here, and we look forward to the next 2 weeks.
Do you have a coffee with everyone at 6 o'clock in the morning? So you wake them all up, do you?
I think TC's put a bit of mayo on that. Like, I'm a Sparky by trade. We don't get out of bed too early, so the old 7 a.m. or 7:30 coffees to get Tony's spiel on the week and stuff like that's pretty good, but also good for the like moving forward as a club too.
And Josh, you seem like a good mix. I mean, Blake's wired all the time, which is a good thing. He's on fire. You seem relaxed. That works pretty well, characteristically.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I obviously been coaching for quite a few years, and it does probably wear you down. And when the co-coach opportunity came up, it was an easy decision for me because everyone talks about Blake's enthusiasm, but everything he just does a million miles, and every now and then you just need to slow him up, and that suits me down to the ground because obviously I'm not playing, so I get to see things a little bit differently. But to work with him for 3 years at Red Hill and come here was a pretty easy move to do.
And a good win on the weekend. You needed a bit of a percentage boost. The Tide have been playing really good footy. That would have been very pleasing for you to get ready for the next 2 weeks to try and nail the spot in the finals.
Yeah, really pleasing, mate. Obviously, we look back at our opposition and get our matchups right, and we went down there probably expecting a really big challenge because their fortnight of footy they'd played leading up to that game had been outstanding. So to go down there and win by 10 goals and could have been more had we kicked straighter was good, and our confidence is high.
The kicking at goal, Blake, I mean, it's frustrating not only at this level but in all levels of footy. I mean, teams have been quite inaccurate in this competition this year and in all competitions. What do you put it down to? Is there not enough goal kicking practice?
Well, I'm a defender, so I don't kick too many, but
Kick one on the weekend.
You were running wingman the other day and you kicked one, didn't you?
Yeah, I might have kicked one and celebrated, but I don't know, like, I suppose it's not practiced enough these days. You're so focused on the transition and how quick the game's played at local level, and you probably don't have enough time with the boys on the track to go through their routines like AFL clubs and VFL clubs do. But you know, if we've got scoreboard pressure on, we're happy with that. So you know, to hit the scoreboard, I think 40 times on the weekend, we're pretty happy.
And how confident are you that you'll be there come the finals in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, quietly. Like it's always a cliche in football, like 1 week at a time. So we just want to get over the line this week against Somerville, who had a good win, and you know we're going to respect our opposition each week. So if we feel like our leaders can stand up again and drive what we've been selling to them for the last 5 or 6 weeks, we'll get the job done.
And are you a bit concerned, Josh, the fact that they might have been unsettled, but you always have to be wary of a team that's been unsettled during the week coming out on the weekend?
Yeah, well, I don't look too much into that. I think you talk unsettled with social media and the ability for everyone to probably blow everything out of proportion's massive. I think you'll find inside a footy club it's generally not as unsettled as what it appears on the outside. So they'll have a senior 22 that they roll dry on the weekend and they'll be capable. And if we've got our guard down, they'll beat us. So we'll respect that and they'll be on.
The media blowing things out of proportion, never. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Blake. It's great that you've been with us tonight. Tony as well, thanks for the announcements. And magnificent news for the Langwarrin Footy Club. Good luck for the rest of the year. We'll be back with a couple of special guests thanks to the Frankston RSL. Shane Patterson, the man they call, he calls himself, I believe, the Patsy Express. And also Gerard Brown. They'll join us next. Gerard Brown, is it? Gerard Brown. He'll join us next on the GameFace Footy Show for Division 2. St Andrews Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character. Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998. And welcome back to the Langwarrin Football Netball Club. It's great to be here for the GameFace Footy Show Division 2. And we've got a couple of special guest star players for the Langwarrin Footy Club in their quest to play in finals in a couple of weeks' time. They're 2 points outside the top 5. Shane Patterson, who calls himself, or did call himself in his younger days anyway, the Patsy Express. I'll ask why in a second. And Gerard, or we'll call him Gerard, I think. If I call him Gerard Brown, he's a big fella, he's right next to me. He'll probably clock me. Do you like being called Gerard or Gerard? Gerard?
Call me whatever you want. Call me Jerry. Whatever.
Jerry. Oh, man's name is Jerry. Good name. Oh, they call you Buff. Why do they call you Buff?
Big Buff head. I've had the nickname since under 10s here from Langy, so carried it all the way through. Head just kept getting bigger.
Is that because you're a good player or because there's a big head in your family?
It's a massive forehead, I think.
What size is your hat size?
No, I think that's still standard, but just need the extra big peak to keep the sun off it.
Fair enough. Now, Shane, why, as a youngster or a younger person, did you, in nightclubs or alcoholic establishments around the area, why did you call yourself the Patsy Express?
I'm not sure. I called myself that. I sort of inherited that name from a few of the boys, and as young guys do, they have a good time when they're out, and I had a very, very good time. So thankfully I gave all that away a long time ago and got a bit wiser, but yeah, I can't disclose too much on those times. I'll get in trouble.
Well, I'll ask you one more question. From those times, what was the strike rate like?
Oh, not very good. Thankfully, my wife hates football. She won't watch this. But
good.
But no,
I heard a rumour she didn't like football. That's why I asked the question, Shane.
No, I was more there for the boys. So yeah, the strike rate was terrible, but I was having a good time with the lads. So that's what it was all about.
I believe you. Others wouldn't. Now you've been around this football club a long time, but you also spent some time Labrador in Queensland. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was an awesome experience. I went there a couple of times. First time with a few Langy guys like Dan Werner. We went there for 2 years, then come back to Langwarrin in 06. Spent another 4 years at Langwarrin, and then went back up there with the missus and spent 5 years there. And that was an unbelievable experience. That was when Labrador had some great players, so I learned a lot from a lot of ex-AFL players, and it was tough. It was a good level. They were in the NEFL then, so it was a challenge, but something I was blessed to be in that side, and it was awesome to be part of it. So,
Pato, when did you start here? 99 was it?
2002 was my first senior year.
And that was the year that they beat Pearsdale in the grand final?
Yeah. So I was a 17-year-old then, and I was fortunate. Freezer was the coach then, Peter Freeman. He was an excellent coach, and he gave me an opportunity. I think it was maybe round 3, and just a lightweight back then, very skinny. Just sat myself on the wing and fortunately held my spot, and that was a great year for the club. We had the under-18s win the flag, the reserves win the flag, and the seniors win the flag. It was a great year for the club. And I mean, when the siren went at the end of the game, I was standing next to Glenn Nichols, and he played in the '93 grand final with my old man. So it was,
really?
It was a special day.
That's the one that they beat by a point. They beat Karen by a point.
Yeah. So it was pretty special. There was a few players that played my dad that I got to play in the premiership with.
And Brownie, you played in the 2005 premiership.
Yep. Yeah, I was in the 05 flag. I managed to be in the under-18s in 2002. So yeah, that was a huge day in 2002. So I was watching Pato from the stands that day, and the other boys go around. So yeah, that was massive. But yeah, managed to get into the seniors for 05.
And that to those people that don't know, like at three-quarter time in the 05 flag, Langwarrin were 30-something points down at Rosebud, and they were playing Frankston Bombers, and they got a roll on, and they ended up winning by 7 or 10 points or something like that.
Oh, I think, you put a bit of mayo on that. But yeah, we were probably down by, I think it was 3 or 4 goals maybe. But it was a really strong fight back. It was
no, it was 30.
30? Maybe my memory's fading. I mean, 30 sounds better anyway.
Well, how much was it, Ian?
Yeah, it was probably closer to 30.
You reckon? Yeah. Must be all right.
It doesn't really matter, Jared. You got the premiership medal.
Yeah, it was a sensational day. Yeah, we managed to get the medal. I don't want to mention who kicked a few goals in the last quarter. His head's already big enough, so we won't mention him. But yeah, it was a really strong team performance. We had Mark Bagley in the team that day. He was best of field, so he went on to bigger and better things from there. But yeah, it was a great day for the club.
Tell us about Mark Bagley. I mean, his is a great story of persistence, isn't it? He didn't get his chance to play AFL footy until he was 24 years old. He's now played 7 years, hasn't missed too many games. He became that consummate back pocket player, is now a defensive small forward. He really has taken his opportunity and got the most out of his ability, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. I think when he was playing with us, he was more of a midfield type. And I think the thing that set Baggers apart from other players in the competition was he was just tough as nails. When he put his head over the footy, he was bowling players over. So he had that from a very young age, from sort of 17, 18 when he was breaking into the team. And that's sort of what enabled him to, get the best of field in the grand final. And then he went on to play, obviously, a few years down there at Frankston Dolphins and sort of hone his craft in the back line, and then obviously got picked up from there.
Yeah, it was wonderful down at the Dolphins, Dan. Dolphins was a good breeding ground for guys to go on and play AFL football. Hibbert's another one from this area who obviously wasn't a Stingrays kid either.
No, that's true. I mean, Hibbert's been an outstanding player for Essendon, and I think there were 7 drafted under Simon Goosey. Now, Shane, you've obviously had an outstanding career. You look at this team now, they're on the verge of the finals. Why do you think they can be there in the next couple of weeks and cause some damage?
Yeah, we've got a lot of talent at the club, and I think Josh and Blake have tapped into that really well. We've always been blessed with players that put their head over the footy and attack the footy hard. Our polish on the outside hasn't been one of our greatest assets, but Beatty and Blake are starting to get us to play the right way and to use all our strengths to our advantage. I believe we can beat anyone. Hopefully we can go on and prove that, but I think the talent's definitely there.
Can I take you back to probably last year or the year before, now you two are getting toward the end of your career, all right? You're playing in a division that's, let's face it, is a tough division for you guys. How's the mindset starting last pre-season to now the new challenge of obviously Division 2 football and sort of hitting that, like picking up your bag and walking out of the house? Last year, I know it would have been hard at times, to this year with that fresh approach, you're in every game, you can win every game, you look like you're playing a final series. It's a difference between that.
It definitely makes it easier to come to the trainings of a Tuesday and Thursday night. I think last year and the year before, we're in a phase of consolidating our players and trying not to lose too many and rebuilding the club from the ground up. You know, there were some dark times at the football club, but a lot of people behind the scenes worked hard, especially blokes like me and Buff were involved in the coaching last year with Brad Dredge, and it was tough. I'll be honest, it was really tough to keep guys around. But I think having the elevation and the elevation in the comps, it definitely helps football clubs as a whole. I know when I came into senior football, that's what it was. And if you were good enough to get into the next comp, you were glad to run into the next season and have a crack at it. But if you weren't good enough, you could drop down and you could rebuild and you could then try and get the success that you deserve from the hard effort you just put in on a Tuesday, Thursday night, instead of just going through the motions week in, week out.
Jared, would you like to expand on that, considering you've been around the club a long time and the fact that we've now got divisional football?
Yeah, I mean, Pato's hit the nail on the head there. I mean, it is a much more of a positive atmosphere going out there, knowing that we're a good chance to win, or at least be competitive every week. I think last year, though, to the players' credit and the playing group, we never gave up on any week. We never gave up with any games. We ended up getting the wooden spoon. We acknowledge that, but there wasn't a week where I felt like the group ever gave up. And we managed to get a couple of wins, and those wins, when you're down the bottom of the ladder, are just as good as gold. So this year, obviously coming into pre-season, knowing that we could be competitive, obviously has got to make you feel a bit better and you walk a little bit taller. But yeah, certainly divisional footy, I think, has been a great improvement.
Now, Shane, how's the body? Been out for a few weeks. You'll be right for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm hoping the body will hold up. As you get a bit older, it gets harder. But I think one thing I learned from Labrador was how to maintain the body and how to recover well. And I suppose that's why I'm probably still playing at 34 years of age and that. So hopefully I get through the year, but the knee felt good tonight. So hopefully Beardy picks me or I'll be playing in two.
I think if you're fit enough, you'll play, won't you, mate? You're pretty confident about that?
I hope so,
You
yeah.
haven't been given any indication you're playing the twos?
Nah. Hopefully, yeah, I should be right, hopefully.
And can also just mention your number one ticket holder down at the club is a former Langwarrin player, Luke Parker. I don't know how well you guys knew him as a junior, but if you did you think that he was going to be the star that he's become?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure me and Buffy got to play a senior game with Luke Parker one day at Mornington.
I'll elaborate on it after you finish.
He was unbelievable. He was about 15 years of age, and I think he got us over the line, to be honest. He was taking hangers on the wing, he was kicking goals, and he was a thick-set 15-year-old, and he absolutely dominated. From that day, we knew he was going to go all the way and be special. So,
mate, that day, I'll still tell people about that day. I was running down the wing at Mornington in the second quarter and went up to take a nice and long contested mark and just felt this pound in the side of my ribs. And I turned around, there's this little smart ass sitting with his blonde hair smiling at me going, do you like that? Do you like that? There's more of that to come. I'm going, what's going on here? He's turned around, he's had 35 touches and kicked about 5 goals as a 15-year-old at Mornington and won the game by 10 points. He's a freak. So that sticks out in my memory. It's a pretty ordinary day.
Yeah, I'm a school teacher by trade, and I had Luke Parker. I was teaching him in his year 12 year down at St Peter's College, and you could tell that he was going to make it. And if it wasn't AFL, he was going to go a long way with his footy just because of his attitude. Every night after, well, maybe not every night, but a lot of nights after school, he'd be out there training on the oval by himself, away from a footy club, just trying to improve himself all the time. And that's why he's so fit and so competitive and such a good player now.
Yeah. Well, boys, it's been great having you join us tonight, two of the stars of the Langwarrin Football Netball Club. Good luck this week, good luck for the rest of the season. Let's hope the Kangaroos are in the finals, and I thank you for joining us. Thanks again. Back with more shortly on the GameFace Footy Show, Division 2.
Websites, videos, Google marketing, SEO. What do you need for your business? Call the team at Chill, they really know their stuff.
The GameFace Division 2 Best Player Award will start with the seniors and Dramana 1 and 2, as you would expect, with the team having such a good season, only losing one game so far with a couple of rounds remaining. Terry Wheeler from the Tigers, 3 votes to move to 47, 2 in front of his teammate Samuel Gertz on 45. Michael Berg from Coringal, 5 votes to be on 43, 1 ahead of Tyrone Head of Rise, had an outstanding year, 4 votes, he's on 42. Very good game for Travis Bravo of Pearsdale as they got a draw against Chelsea, 5 votes to move to 40. Adam Kirkwood of Rye, quiet game, remains on 40. And Brendan Doyle of Tyab, also no votes to be on 39. In the reserves, James Longley of Langwarrin, 5 votes, he's on 45. Scott Sterling of Rye joins him on 45. He kicked 7 goals, so he picks up 6 votes. So we have joint leaders in the reserves. And then there's a 4-vote break to Kane Stratton of Hastings, 6 votes to be on 41, and also 6 votes on the weekend to Callum Barnes of Somerville. In the under-19s, Will Hose of Tyab, 6 votes to be on 68. Tristan Giuliano of Chelsea led for a long time in the under-19 Best Player Award, but hasn't scored votes for a number of weeks. He remains on 64. Nathan McLean of Devon Meadows, 13 votes behind him. He picked up 2 on the weekend to be 51. Caleb Watkins of Hastings, 4 on the weekend to be on 48. This is the GameFace Footy Show, Division 2, live at the Langwarrin Football Netball Club. Lots to get through. Great to be here tonight, and firstly we'll start with the controversial Tony Blackers Blackford Team of the Week.
Pretty impressive crowd tonight, Dan, isn't it?
No one knew you'll have 15 Langy boys.
No, I have.
Because you always like to pat the crowd.
12 Langy boys in there tonight. No, I've got a couple in here, and Smith from Dramana has been playing really well in the back line. Kirkwood's been outstanding from Rye.
He's been in the team all week.
All year, Kirkwood. Patterson usually plays in the back line, but he hasn't played for 3 weeks. But McGuinness from Coringal, Cuthbert from
There's one.
Popular choice.
11 to go.
Siverson from Red Hill, Harms from Devon Meadows. The centre line is Wheeler, Burke from Coringal, and Mitchell from Red Hill. The half-forward line is Ethan Johnson, Theodoros and Bywater from Chelsea.
Great forward line, half-forward line.
The forward line is Chris Irving, Holmes from Dramana, and Murphy from Langwarrin. Win Pope, Marcus Delago and Fletcher are the midfield, and on the bench is Gerard Brown.
You just put that in.
Yeah, I just
put that in.
No, I didn't. No, not at all. Delmo from Pearsdale has been playing outstanding football. Jake Anderson from Tyab kicked 3 or 4 last week. Quigley from Dramana. Sam Fowler kicked another 3 last week. And Ethan Riley and Adrian Speedy from Somerville. That makes up the 24 blokes.
And if there's any criticism, as there always is, you can get onto the GameFace Facebook and get stuck into Blackers about his team of the week. But I dare say Langwarrin will be happy because there's a lot of Langwarrin players in there, not 12
There's 3 in there, and
Three's pretty good.
There's been some inconsistent form, but they've been showing some good form of late. Dan.
They certainly have. Now, we've got 2 rounds to go. Let's have a quick look, though, at last week with the Chelsea and Tyab game. Chelsea and Pearsdale game. And Chelsea were up by almost 5 goals, Chris, at 3/4 time. And they let a golden opportunity slip. We know they lost to Tyab a couple of weeks ago and again they shouldn't have lost. At least they got the 2 points here. But they'd be disappointed with that, I would have thought.
Well, Langy did the same thing in the first half, and we talked about how even the comp is, and if you don't turn up to play or you have a lapse in concentration, then that's points gone. So you might find that might cost Chelsea a top 3 berth. If Kringle can get over them this week, then they'll play in that elimination final first week, and they've been top 3 all year.
Yeah, look, that'd be disappointing with their last month, boys, wouldn't they? There's 6 points that they should have had in the bank, but they haven't got them.
No, that's right. I mean, Red Hill, of course, started slowly and have found form. If Chelsea could have, should have, would have, and there's the old saying about your auntie and your uncle, and unfortunately it doesn't exist for Chelsea. This is a family show, of course, so I won't go into that. But Chelsea, if they had those 6 points, well, they'd be firmly entrenched in the top 4 and top 3, and Red Hill will be out. So, but they didn't get it, so they've got to try and find a way in the next couple of weeks. And talking of which, it is round 17 this week. And they've got Coringal. Can they win?
Look, there was a 3-point margin in the last time that they met, Dan, and that was up at Chelsea. And look, I don't think both of these sides are playing great football at the moment. I think Coringal are starting to get a few blokes back. I think Aaron Paxton played in the twos last week. I think Grant Goodall will play in the reserves on Saturday. So they're starting to get some of their better players back, but they can't afford to take too many of those lumbering big blokes into finals.
I think both sides are behind those top two sides by a fair way. Probably Langy would be the bolter who would be able to challenge those guys for the that spot if they were going to challenge for that grand final berth. I think Coringal and Chelsea will be thereabouts, but won't really contend too hard.
Yeah, Coringal haven't been great in the last 4 or 5 weeks, but I think that they're playing slightly better than Chelsea, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Got beaten narrowly earlier in the season down at Chelsea.
Dan, they kicked 5 goals against Red Hill, and they only kicked 7 goals in a great day for football last week against Hastings.
Yeah, their ability to kick goals has been a real issue for them in the last month or so, and they'll need to improve that if they are to feature in the grand final and certainly maybe be premiers. Now, Dramana are up against Crib Point. Crib Point at home. You would expect Dramana to win. Just again a little bit of a loosener for the finals, and no doubt for the grand final, even the way they're going, Chris.
Next.
Fair enough. Thank you, Chris. Blackers, next for you.
Yeah, no, I'll go Dramana.
Yeah, I would have thought. Devon Meadows and Tyre. I'll give Tyre a chance, but I'm still picking Devon Meadows. I think Michael Theodoriadis has had an outstanding year and maybe hasn't been given enough credit for the year he's had.
Dan, both sides would look at this as a game that they both could possibly win. I think both have had really good finishes to the season. I think Devon Meadows are always harder to beat at home, though.
Tyre been the most impressive side from where you think they were going to be to where they are now. I'll tip them to beat Devon Meadows this week, just as a bit of an upset.
Yeah, I think they beat them earlier in the season with a huge last quarter. Langwarrin and Somerville, well, this is a match Langwarrin just need to win to keep their chances alive of playing in the finals. I think they'll make the finals. I think they'll beat Somerville. Have had a bit of a difficult week, but as I said to Josh Beard a bit earlier, Blackers, that these are the sort of weeks where a footy club can come out smoking, but I don't expect them to beat Langwarrin.
Well, these are the sort of games that Langwarrin need to make sure that they get their attitude right, and if you can get your attitude and your application like you have over the last couple of weeks, boys, you'll get the result done, because some haven't had great form, but remember when you went down to Pearsdale and you thought it was going to happen? Well, this is a game that you've got to win, and if you win on the weekend, I can guarantee you Chelsea won't get the chocolates against Coringal.
This is actually funny because this is the first time I've actually walked into a place where we've done a live feed on a Thursday night, and I'm like, I can actually back the team that we're in. I think Langwarrin will actually beat Somerville this week. Walked into Pines, I thought they were going to get done. Edithvale, I thought they were going to get done. Langy will turn the corner and they'll give him a touch up this week.
You'll walk out safe, Chris. That's good. You'll get home safe. I think you'll be all right. Yeah, no, I think Langwarrin to win quite comfortably.
Hey, Dan, at least nobody will touch my car because it's in the coach's car.
Of course it is. Yeah. You're a lucky man, Blackers. Pearsdale and Rye. Josh Moore, of course, won't be coaching Rye next year. They need a new coach, the Demons, and their year has fallen away after a promising start, but I still think they can beat Pearsdale, even though the game is at Pearsdale, and the Panthers were very good in that last quarter against Chelsea last week.
Pearsdale has been playing some really good football. They kicked over 100 points against Crib Point a couple of weeks ago. They their last quarter last week, Delmo's been in outstanding form for them. Big Murray. There's a lot to like about Pearsdale at this stage, and I think that they'll get the job done against Rye.
Wheels are falling off Rye.
And the other thing too, guys, is that Rye, the younger kids, I think that they'll be pushing them back to play in the under-19s to make sure that they're all qualified come finals time.
Yeah. I think with the announcement that the coach isn't going on and the fact that they've lost so many in a row, I think they'll just hurry up, get into the end of the season, so Pearsdale will win this.
And then they can go on their footy trip, which I think their president, Mick O'Rourke, has been going on every footy trip for the Rye Footy Club since he's been involved in the club. No, where did he say? I think he said Echuca, somewhere up in the country somewhere. Sure. Yeah, he's been for over 50 years, Mick O'Rourke, every single footy trip. So that'll be another.
Took all the money, so they're just going to Echuca.
Well, probably. No, it's going to be Echuca. Echuca will be all right. Okay. Nice place to go, I think.
Right here.
I'll find that out for you. That's huge news, of course, isn't it? Red Hill and Hastings. We've sort of already discussed this. I think Red Hill will win and win pretty comfortably. Hastings just have too many injuries.
Yeah, Sean Foster's done a medial ligament, so he'll be out. Big loss. He's been their best player. Clifford's underdone. I think he's back playing, but unfortunately Hastings, top end talent, has been injury riddled all year. Red Hill will get the job done here on their big ground.
It started with round one with Boland straight away. First 5 minutes done, and that's been their year. So Red Hill will pants them up there, I reckon.
Yep, agree with that. Let's look at the next week's round as well. We'll quickly get through this. Tyab and Somerville.
Tyab.
Yeah, Tyab at home. Picking Tyab at home. It'll be an interesting match, but I think they can get the job done and finish a pretty good season on a good note.
And it'll be a long time since Tyab's been able to beat Somerville, and I think that this is their perfect opportunity. It's the last game of the year, and Tyab at home for me.
Chelsea to put the last nail in Hastings' coffin, which means that Hastings will be pumped up and trying to prove the media wrong again, but I don't think they can. Chris?
Nah, Hastings gone. Chelsea will win that. Too much on the line. Yes,
Chelsea will end up losing their last 4 games, guys.
Ooh.
Hastings,
Hastings, yeah.
Hastings, sorry.
Hastings, yeah.
Crib Point and Kooringal. Game being played at Crib Point. Crib Point getting the last 2 matches at home, but Kooringal will be too good.
Next.
Yeah, next. Thank you, Chris. Langwarrin and Pearcedale, is it next again for Langwarrin to move into the finals by winning this?
Yeah, I think
they'll
so.
win easily.
Yeah, they'll probably be done before this week, but yeah, Langwarrin will beat Pearcedale.
Yeah, but there's always a good rivalry between these two sides. And early on in the year, Pearcedale were able to beat Langy.
I saw that, and that would have hurt them. I reckon that was one of the ones I highlighted as that and Rye were the ones that hurt. Probably stopped them getting that top 3 chance, Langwarrin. So I think they'll look to make amends here.
Even the draw too, of course, that they had. Now the Bushman's Cup is what this match is played for. It's a long time tradition between these two rivals in Langwarrin and Pearcedale. Rye hosting Dramana. Of course, these two teams are neighbours. You would expect this will just be a tune-up for Dramana for the finals. Chris is saying next. What are you saying, Blackers?
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Thanks, Blackers, for that. Deadpan.
You may as well fast forward the next one.
And Red Hill hosting Devon Meadows. Again, it's tune-up for Red Hill for the finals. Red Hill by a country mile.
Country mile, my friend.
Blackers?
Yeah, especially up there. They'll run Devon Meadows off their feet.
So how's the ladder going to look, mate?
Well, it's going to be Dramana, Kooringal, Red Hill. So Dramana get the week off. Kooringal and Red Hill will play in a qualifying final. And then the elimination final will be between Chelsea and the Kangaroos Langwarrin. That's what we think will happen in 2 weeks' time. They'll get in ahead of Hastings. So we'll see what happens. Come on, Langy, as they say in the crowd. So that's what we think, and it's been wonderful being here at Langwarrin tonight. We hope that's what happens. Hastings have had a lot of injuries. They're a good football club too, but Langwarrin have really looked after us. We thank them for having us here tonight, and we wish them all the best for the rest of the season. We thank you all for joining us, and we'll have more footy show on GameFace next week. May your team win on the weekend, as long as the Langwarrin Kangaroos.